This is a question from Brian, who asks, what if all nuclear weapons on Earth were launched at once? Not in retaliation, not even as an act of war. All of them, just launched simultaneously. Sounds like a bad sci-fi plot, but let's discuss it anyway. A nuclear weapon, which has largely been replaced in terminology by strategic or thermonuclear device, derives its destructive power from nuclear reactions. Currently, there are about 12,500 nuclear warheads on Earth, with Russia and US being the major contributors, both having around 5,500 nuclear weapons each, while China, France, UK, India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea share the remaining portion. Now let's assume that every single one of these warheads gets launched. Combined, that's around 6,000 megatons of explosive energy. For reference, the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima was about 15 kilotons. The Tsar Bomba, which is the most powerful nuclear bomb ever detonated, had an explosive energy of about 50 megatons. Given our current nuclear arsenal, its combined explosive energy would be about 120 times that of the Tsar Bomba. About 4 to 5 billion people would be at risk of immediate death or injury from the blast waves, thermal radiation, and firestorms. But the real damage comes after that. A nuclear explosion of such scale could possibly cause earthquakes, although not the kind that rupture tectonic plates. Nuclear explosions do generate seismic waves, and large underground tests have been known to register as earthquakes, ranging from magnitude 5 to 6 on seismographs. But a surface-level detonation spreads its energy outward, not deep into the Earth's crust. If all the nukes were detonated underground in the same place, we'd probably get the equivalent of a magnitude 9 earthquake, which is actually a massive quake, but still nowhere near the magnitude 15 fantasy quake that could vaporize all the oceans on Earth. An even bigger concern would be the atmospheric fallout. All those nukes would ignite cities, forests, fuel, and plastics. The fires alone would send 150 million tons of black carbon straight into the upper atmosphere. This would form a blanket, blocking sunlight for months. Global average temperatures would drop by 7 to 10 degrees Celsius. In fact, a full-scale nuclear war could cut global food production by 90% and kill billions through starvation, even in countries that weren't directly hit. And just forget about the solar panels, because the sun won't show up for a while. Radiation would spike globally, fallout particles would rain down for weeks, contaminating water, soil, and food. And unlike bullets, radiation doesn't stop working once it hits something. We would experience acute radiation sickness, mutations, and birth defects. Long-term cancer rates would go off the charts. But could an explosion of such massive scale blow up our planet? The answer to that question is a big no. The gravitational binding energy of Earth is about 10 to the 32nd joules. If detonated, all nukes combined would release nearly 10 to the 16th joules of energy, which is nowhere near the energy required to unbind the Earth from itself and tear it into pieces. Which finally brings us to this. How long would it take for us to recover? Assuming some humans survived in bunkers or remote islands, it would still take centuries to rebuild civilizations. Agriculture would be unreliable for a long time. The climate might not stabilize for generations. And culturally, we'd all be left with nothing but stories of fire falling from the sky, lost cities, and this one simple thought. Sometimes it's nice not to push every button that we come across.